Hey everybody. Is YouTube better for streaming this? I'm not sure. I kind of wanted to try. Is the music volume good? I just wanted to have some chill music in the back. YouTube Yamato. Might as well give it a chance. YouTube, Twitch. I don't even need the link to my stream. Give it a chance. Let's take a little look. What's the link to my Wagwan? Yes, this is indeed live. Good to see all of you. And here so quickly. I am figuring out YouTube streaming because I thought maybe it could be interesting. Could be interesting. Let me just try to figure out the link. If you go on my profile, your channel. Taking a look at Demacia Cup finals. And more. Catching up. Well, I'll just tweet from my phone because I have a nice picture to post actually. Yamato live on YouTube. It just seems like, I don't know, like from a business point of view, I just wanted to try YouTube because I personally, at least when I watch streams, I prefer to be able to rewind, which is super nice. So I'm thinking maybe we give it a chance. We just give it a little chance. My stream is live. Having testing it out on YouTube. Check the comment below for the link. please save this live so I can watch it all. Yeah, I will. Hello, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube on YouTube. I'm trying for the first time ever, not ever. I think I streamed from Korea, maybe on YouTube. Not sure why. I am just doing a little stream on YouTube. Let's see how it goes. I am going to take a look at the Demacia Cup. It isn't not going to be your standard review because I am just live streaming a part of my own personal process of getting back into shape. I am very happy that the Demacia Cup is played because we have some footage of very recent gameplay, and that makes me happy. Makes me very happy indeed. Yamato, there's another channel who put Void would also draft pick if you're interested. What does that mean? I'm not sure what that means. Just gonna drink some water to catch my train of thought. All right. I will begin my work then. I just check a look at properties, and then audio capture is allowed. All right. Something that's very odd, right? Well, not odd, but unique is that you get to see the mindset of teams a lot more clearer in the context of like blind pick, right? Because the first game in these best of fives has been blind pick. I mean, just whoop. Just waiting for it to wrap up. You know, the tricky thing is always when you blind pick is that you need to pick something that is going to be inherently good, right? You're going to have to blind pick something that doesn't have any hard losing matchups. You're going to have to pick, you know, you're going to have to be forced to pick a lot less greedy. And then it also comes in, you know, the context of thinking about what the enemy is going to pick. So there's certain risks you can take for you to put yourself in a better like position. For example, here, right? Like this Gwen pick, you know, in the context of what people could potentially blind, maybe it could be dangerous. In the context of Zoom, maybe the thought process, you know, Ornn might be coming. You know, this is, you know, if you look at how the gambles played out, right? It's like Lee into Zin, very straight up matches we've seen many times. Victor into Victor, you know, decent blind is going to have, you know, a decent game most of the time. Caitlyn is something that's been, you know, permabanned for a very long time in the Demacia Cup. Obviously, I need to be very tactful with how I do this because, you know, we're in competition. So this is you guys get to be invited to see my process of unrusting my mind, you know, coming into the next season. Obviously, I've been, you know, busy with the game and we did scrims and so forth, but I thought that, you know, I might as well hit two birds with one stone. Caitlyn Lux also relatively good, you know, to pick blind, like true blind, in the essence that, you know, there are certain champs that maybe you could pick into them and, you know, have, you know, a lane where you have to play with some kind of risk. Let's say you pick Blitzcrank against Kate Lux, it can be volatile, but in essence, there is counterplay in the lane phase always for Kate Lux. Because the worst thing you can do if you draft a composition blind pick, if you find yourself in a position where the enemy has 3 pushing lanes and there's no counterplay for your jungle, then it's going to be very, very rough for you. So it's very important to cement champions that allow your jungler to have some breathing room, some kind of space to play through, and also something to play for, because that priority you can leverage into other lanes, and then you can cover the weaknesses of your composition, right? So Victor is pretty stable, is going to be fine in mid most of the time. The roughest thing that Victor can run into is something that is very, very roam heavy. Let's say like a Twisted Fate could be tricky. Very surprised that Twisted Fate just doesn't get insta locked in, right? But nevertheless, we don't need to dwell on this too much. Why are there 2 Victors? Because this is a blind pick. So basically, this is just straight up blind pick. We don't know what's going on. Bot lane matchup, I would assume that Caitlyn Lux is favored, but I think Thresh and Jinx have a lot of opportunities to create counterplay. It's easier to set up your jungler, like with Lee coming in and pathing into bottom side. 3v3s can be very, very volatile. Caitlyn Lux can maybe try to play for the wave, but Jinx Rock is a strong level 1. It isn't a clear cut, But right off the bat, that this bot lane matchup is going to be where the action happens, and this will be, both junglers are going to just path into bottom. Very unique to see, like, the situation where we have Steak is my homie. I've met him when he was over at RNG. Was quite nice. I'm just going to move my camera and you guys' messages, put them to the side. It's funky because you have to kind of burger flip your runes, right? So like imagine you play a blind pick game and let's say you pick an AP bot and all of a sudden you have enemy has no MR, they have armor and all that jazz. I'm not sure how, like if they actually get to see the enemy champions, I'm not so certain. I don't know, like here, Jackie Love is on Facebook. He's definitely on Facebook. And Deluxe is on Twitter, I think, because Jesus, she choked so hard, like it's insane. Like this is like she just E's and holds the E, and the slow is enough to burn some summoners. Like in this case, I think skilling E is better because it can't be cleanse. If you skill Q, you only burn cleanse. She's gonna walk out the same way. I think in this moment you press E in front of her, she has to burn flash here 100%, but Deluxe really choked it here. Double Airy mid with Corrupting Potion. In matchups like this where it's mirrored most of the time, with champions that can actually trade, then going for lane power is a good choice. Because if let's say you go for scaling runes, right? Let's say you go Gathering Storm, and let's say you go First Strike as an example, a very good scaling rune. You can find yourself in a position where that 5% strength difference is something that a Victor or a strong player is going to be able to leverage into so much more than that additional gain you're going to gain from that Gathering Storm. I'm just paying attention to what the junglers do. I'm just gonna roll back. This Lee was so quick. Lee started Raptors. He started Raptors 210. Interesting. Okay. Bot lane is a very rough spot due to this level 1, like Jackie Love just standing there. Aren't you partnered with Twitch? I am, but can they stop me from streaming on YouTube? I don't think so. Let me move the text. Because already here, in terms of speed, very unique clear from Lee, right? He does Raptors into red into Gromp. Gets a level 3 from the Gromp, but there is no opportunity for him to contest bot because of the ward placement, and the Thresh has no flash. Like, Thresh had no flash is such a big relief for enemy bot, because you know the Thresh is going to be outranged by Lux, and the leverage you need to find is in the flash flay into Lantern, into set up your jungle for a kill, and then from that point onward you can control the lane and be in the bushes and leverage your Hex flash. But him just straight up having no flashes makes this very rough for Lee. He can't even enter bottom side, and so Lee did Gromp into Wolves. So usually the idea of killing your non-buff camps earlier is for the quicker respawn, especially in a case where you are so far away from your golems and you're not gonna do your golems. At least you'll have the raptor respawn, and you can get your level 4 like that. But usually in most cases, unless you gain some kind of value as Lee, you're going to be left without a pickaxe, and that makes it a little bit rough. They can take your partnership away for streaming here, though. Really? I don't have an exclusive contract, so I believe. Like, I don't have an exclusivity deal with Twitch, so I'm sure it's fine. And if it's not, I'm sure someone will let me know. So as you can see here, right, the raptors are respawning for Lee, and he doesn't need to go all the way to his golems. So probably for the rest of this game, Lee is not going to go back to his golems. I'm gonna rewind. Okay. Just looking what actually Zenzao accomplished by being so late. Like, he threatens bot dive, but debased. Like, Jackie makes sure not to show. Pretty good play from Jackie Love. Hiding like that and making sure the jungle actually burns time. Like, he gave up a CS to buy a lot of time for his jungle. It's really big. And here, like, basing for Zinza would have been so awkward, right? So he needs to go back and take another camp because he doesn't have pickaxe gold. So here, Lee doing his Raptors. Now he has pickaxe gold, but Tian's knowledge is that Zinza is going to continue doing his Raptor Golems because of his CS number, and that he will be able to take the Grom for free. Very good. Because no one's ever going to base without the pickaxe gold. So Lee is in good state here. This just look to channel recall, place down 2 wards. Zinza's gonna cross into top side, be spotted when he's going to sniff for his own Gromp, lose a lot of valuable time, and this just secures such a big window for Lee. But you see, Lee is completely ignoring the golems. That's the point of this path. Just not do your golems, get Raptors second time before you base, and you're gonna have enough gold for pickaxe. But with what happened with the Grom take as well, he already has Iron Spike Whip. So Zinza gets spotted, everybody knows. Ping-ponging waves topside. Ornn with the tier. So yeah, Lee is legit saying Zinza has nothing to do. I'm going to clear my camps and we're going to invade his second spawn. So it's like this is a moment where you see how every decision of jungle played out, right? Like Zinzao sipped into river first, got bottom side crab first. Lee crossed into top side. His decision to start Raptors allowed him to respawn so he could get the pickaxe gold, knowing that Zinzao is not going to base. Like sure, Zinzao could base and buy a ruby crystal longsword, but it puts him very far behind because he's going to clear his Raptors and his golems so freaking late. So in this case, just because Zinzao stepped into river and threatened that bottom dive, Lee has a window now where he's higher level than Zin, and he can actually contest the second spawn of camps on the bottom side. So the next camps that are going to spawn are the Raptors, the Krabby on bottom side, and the Golems. And Lee can, if his lanes allow him to, he can actually, you know, leverage his strength here. But Gori is doing better in the lane phase. So here, at this point, you know, another question that you can ask yourself, right? Zinzao sacrificed tempo in his own jungle in order to, you know, try to leverage his lane's advantage into something more. And as long as on the respawn of his camps, as long as his laners are stronger than the opposite laners, then there's not going to be any room for Lee Sin's counterplay, right? So even though Lee is ahead in this moment, his lanes are in such shit condition that he can't really leverage his strength. So Lux and Kate still in a more dominant position, and Gori is winning mid in the mirror matchup, which is kind of hilarious. It's also, he bought Amp Tome against Doran's, and Doran's is considered a more, you know, lane-oriented item because it doesn't finish or build into anything. You delay Lost Chapter and so forth. So Gori is doing really, really well with this. So unless Tian, you know, this ward that is placed over here, it can be avoided. I don't know if you guys see it on stream. It can be avoided, this ward. Lee can avoid this ward by hugging the wall like that. He can enter and maybe find some counterplay, but it's a rough spot for Lee to find too much counterplay. But I'm focusing mostly here on jungle in terms of how it played out. So imagine a world where Zinzao didn't get value, right? That's the key thing. Let's say Zinzao didn't get value. In this case, he didn't necessarily gain value. It was more of a situation where he secured value. Zinzao was hovering into the bottom side play. Jackie Love avoided the dive pretty well. He also supported Victor, so he could play aggressively, got the bottom side crab. Everyone could play very far forward. Then he lost his Gromp, right, for it. And Tian in this condition right now, you know, there is not too much to happen, but he didn't get spotted by this ward, as mentioned before, and this looks like it should be... oh, he actually flashed the damage from Q, but it doesn't matter. So one thing here, right? They are starting the dragon right now. In this moment, they start the dragon, and it's painfully obvious, right? Like here for FPX start the dragon. They feel strong on bottom side. They think Victor is in better conditions to Victor, but just because of this ward placement here and the lack of vision in this area creates a blind spot, a very important blind spot that Lee can cross and enter, and this ward provides you a false sense of safety. And in reality, you know, if you don't want to be too greedy with this, is that with the dragon you pull it out so you can spot this area, right? But the danger is if you pull it out as Zinzao, this Ocean Drake is so strong and powerful that maybe you actually invite a very poor fight, because dragon counts as a fourth member, right? So it doesn't matter the conditions of Victor. If Zinzao pulls it out, it could be dangerous, right? Lee Sin hits a Q, and then all of a sudden Ocean Drake and Lee is punching you down. Maybe you legit get one shot here because of the Iron Spike Whip, right? But if in a world where he pulled it out and he spotted this area for his mid laner, they could achieve multiple things at the same time. The other way is that they delayed the Drake a little bit longer, let Victor crash the wave, make him use the biscuit, make him push, let him go into fog, and then you do it together. But this window is being used right here due to the situation on the bot side. They crashed the wave, so they want to go, but Victor couldn't crash the wave at the same time. Here, Victor is playing on his own. As you see, Victor is not connected to his team. Tian finds a little window here where he can cross, and they didn't expect it. This ward provides us false sense of safety. His teammates being in river provides a false sense of safety, and then boom, he dies. As you can see, he flashed the Q damage here, right? And that is very, very difficult to time. It's very rarely done, you know, intentionally. It's like you can seek to do it, but the timing of it is very hard. If someone knows the exact timing, please share. I would love to learn it, because it's been a mystery to me for a very long time. Maybe I'm just bad. Could be the case. So here, Lee finally going into his golems, clearing them. Is going to reach 6 after red. Knight flashed for the kill before, and he gets snipped. It's tough here because Knight, I don't know if he could, but he should be able, like here with his wave spot, he need to clear this wave on time and start channeling base. Will this be saved on YouTube? Yeah, don't worry. You know, here Victor just needs to base, kill these minions base, because he's not going to be able to crash the next wave. Like Lee is backing off, no control in the river at all, and Victor is greeting for the next wave. This could be maybe lost chapter gold, something like that. But I imagine with the kill that he could afford lost chapter. But either way, it's rather close. Like I don't know if he's greeting for an extra 100 gold. He is somewhere in that sphere. I wish we could see Victor's gold right now. Actually, we can count it, right? It's 500, 400, so 900. He can afford it. He's just being greedy. He should have a grand total of 1500 gold in his pocket right now. So he's just being greedy. He should have based. Like, even if you can't clear that wave on time, I think you just base. Or you beg Lee to push the next one or something, and then, you know, Lee will be accelerating, so that's not too bad either. Like, imagine here, you just tell your lead, just push next, I'm gonna base, I have my lost chapter, and I'm gonna be on equal tempo of Victor. Because keep in mind, something that I can teach you guys, a little small tip, right, is that to maintain tempo with someone that died, you need to start channeling your base at the 8-second timer. Even earlier sometimes. So you see here, when Victor died, 13 seconds. Keep in mind, the game, to prevent a heavy snowball, they've changed the game in a way where recall timers are shorter early game, and also you get the home guard when you die, right? So you get to go back into lane much faster. And in reality, if Victor just ignored these minions, pressed B, it probably would have played out better, because he would have been on the map the exact same timer as Victor. But now all of a sudden, you can think of you pressing recall. When you press B, it is the same thing as if you are dead for 8 seconds. You pressing B, it's the same as an 8-second death timer. And then on top of that, you need to keep count that you need to regen your HP in base. That also takes time, and the enemy has home guard, so you add a couple of seconds to that. 13 seconds is usually like the deadline for you to look to base, right? Because now, with the way it played out, Xin Zhao's still in river, does that crabby. Victor is greeting for next wave, doesn't even have the mana to push it fast, doesn't have the E upgrade, and then Xin Zhao just steps in here. It's like, this is not allowed. Gwen also steps in here, says this is not allowed. Victor has no flash and he's just oinking here. This is, you know, a very big and crucial mistake. Now Victor comes back to lane, you know, Gori is like, Xin Zhao, stop hitting the fucking wave. Stop freezing the wave, because, I mean, stop hitting the wave and stop freezing the wave for the enemy, because this wave position was so good for me if you just didn't touch it. Nevertheless, these minions are gonna die, so this is gonna freeze, and now Just because Knight didn't base is going to make the situation so much more like uncomfortable for him, because coming out of base now, he still has the same situation. No control in river. Victor is going to be the enemy Victor is just as strong as him in terms of items, and he has no flash, and the wave is in an awkward spot. But the key thing though is that Tiana is going to be level 6, and Lee level 6 is something that is so insanely powerful, especially in a situation where you know, people don't have flashes. So Lee, Victor is still freezing the wave in the mid lane. You know, it was so big that Gory actually bought Amplifying Tome in terms of how it played out. Because if he bought Doran's Ring, he wouldn't be on Lost Chapter right now, and this kill would have been so much more significant. It's funny how those details matter in these cases. So Zinzal still didn't base, still hovering around his bottom side. He just wants to make sure that the Kate and the Lux can keep hitting the tower, because there's 2 platings down already, and that is the majority of the gold disadvantage. Because if Thresh keeps getting pushed in and there's no pressure from the enemy jungle, Thresh loses a lot of his value. So this is a very, very good situation for FPX. It's like their whole game plan was to use Zinzal timers to just make sure that their bottom lane can push, hit tower. You know, this is very good conditions. Great conditions. You know, the only way for, in my mind, if I'm top esports, I would want to break this play by entering through mid, crossing into bottom side, clearing out all that vision, and leveraging the fact that Lee should be stronger in the 2v2 in the mid lane. Also something that you see very commonly, right? This pink being alive, this pink being alive, and then being allowed to press up and to play like this is so insanely good. And a good rule of thumb for junglers is to not enter this bush unless you're actually going for the dive, right? Because this is a bush that is almost always warded when you are putting the enemy in a very weak position. I don't know how natural this swap is here. Like the fact that like Jinx is allowed to catch this wave. I don't know if Red Side is a little bit too focused on getting the Herald. Because like in my mind here, if Lux stays, Kate stays, like they can almost get the full tower. Jinx gets pushed out, and then they can cross whenever they want. But they're looking to base and to match, and I think the top esports kind of saved themselves from a very hard spot, because they have a lot of tools in fights. Like Thresh can actually do a lot due to Ornn and Lee being in the game. I feel like Caitlyn Lux like let go of the stranglehold and let top esports breathe a little bit here, when in reality I think the way the base should occur is that Jinx should be completely choked out and be afraid to re-enter bot, and then you base, which I think that was conditions that could have easily set up in this situation. Zoom has TP advantage, which is a big deal too. A lot of tools that top esports can use to save their bot lane tower, and the fact that they have Herald too is so damn huge. So they stepped into mid, crossed into bot. Look at that pink ward vision, gorgeous, so beautiful. Having control of that pixel on bottom side allows you to be able to control bottom, and allows you to control mid too. But it's strange how they're giving it up. I didn't like this timer to do blue. I don't think it was good. This was the first gank attempt, and it was completely You know, it was a very expensive gank attempt. I think, once again, the way you save bot is not through bot. It's too late for that. Elena, I am busy.
What are you doing?
I'm streaming.
Streaming?
Yeah, I told you I would. I feel like Jackie Love is just getting away with murder. Like, I'm happy he died. Because the way he's been playing this game, like, it's been so greedy, and Beishuan just didn't punish. I don't know, I just wanted to try on YouTube, but I think after this game I'm gonna switch back to Twitch. They get the first full tower. I think they could have created this situation even earlier, where they had so much pressure when Thresh got so chunked. And I think Lee lost so much time by trying to gank bot. Gorgeous. I really like what Thresh does here. It's so often that super players, when they feel like they can't enter into one specific side of the map, that they just try begin to show on mid. But I really like how they just cross into top side and understand that Drake is a losing concept. They just cross into top side and that's it. I don't think Victor needs to commit to this. Maybe they just can't dive. Like maybe Gwen is just too strong with Rift Maker, right? Yeah, it looks like they just have no chance in diving this. Holy. Zhao Lao Hu. Just a bit too good. Just looks like this would have been like good conditions for them to go into top side, but I'm gonna just take a look and check whether they just pushed too fast. Like Orange just crashed the wave too fast. Because it's kind of like weird and unnatural that they are 4 into top side and Gwen manages to clear the full wave. Like the fact she doesn't get dove, like they just completely, like this Gwen is buying so much for his team. Like he just denied Top Esports counterplay completely. Why are both Jinx and Victor top? So the idea here is that since the enemy team is going to be first on the Drake area and the first on the Drake spot, they don't want to contest the fight right now because there is a mythic item disadvantage here. You can see the Caitlyn has Gale Force already and Zinzao is coming out of base, leading base yet. They know that the enemy is going to cross into bottom side. So trying to push this bottom wave in just comes with so much risks and danger. So you're going to completely abandon it and play on the opposite side of the map. So in this case, you contest the mid wave and then you cross into top side, because going into bot, it's like you gain nothing out of it. You're just going to put yourself in a very bad spot. You're most likely going to just die. So this is a very, very common reoccurring theme in the game, where if you want to seek the counterplay because the enemy wants to find more value by going for the dragon, and the stronger team is going to play on the objective side, you're going to look for counterplay on the opposite side of the map. Could Jinx just get mid? Yeah, she can stay mid, right? Like, it doesn't matter who stays mid. The reason she is hovering into the top lane, Gromp can be dangerous. Like, she doesn't do it super fast, and she can run into Zinz out there. Like, it's not super easy for her to do Gromp. And just the fact that Gwen manages to clear the whole wave, and that Zoom just needs to flash because the third aggro, like this is it's so huge what Gwen did. Because Gwen, in theory, 1v5'd here. 1v5'd, denied the counterplay, got the full wave, and then Victor gets to push bottom all the way to get the Infernal, and they are hitting the mid tower. The awkward thing for top esports though is that they commit 5 people into the river, and re-entering mid is going to be not so easy. Like, they are re-entering mid here, but they don't have much of a threat. And LWX covered the only potential blind spot he has. Because keep in mind, all of this, these players actually didn't show. So yeah, this trash most likely is just gonna die. Minimum flash. I don't know, maybe flashes over the Raptor wall, but like here, like the keep in mind, Gale Force is coming, right? There's a bit of a bot gap. Not just a bit. It's a massive bot gap, and Zinzao just was around to make sure that they can push. Lee comes out the base with Gore Drinker, but Trash is dead. Gore Drinker gap. Tian says, yo, I have Gore Drinker, I want to fight. Where my homies at? Victor being in the lane matchup against... oh. Lee had no Q. Victor being top against Gwen was good. It was a good swap to try to consolidate the spot the top esports was in. That was pretty bad. But then the re-entry is a bit too hard. Like Jinx is so weak. Jinx is so weak. Like the only advantage here is just like Lee, and maybe like if you can leverage Victor TP here and use the fact that Gwen doesn't have ult and no ghost. Chat feels out of place. You want me to remove the chat from the stream, or do you mean chat is out of place on the YouTube player? Okay. So Lee or like no. I think here if you keep, I guess he's just assuming Victor's gonna flash. But if he keeps Q of Lee, then maybe there's a chance here that, you know, like keeping Q here is better to invite mistakes, right? Like here, if he gets hit by the own ult, gets hit by Lee Q, maybe there is like a situation where this guy gets one shot. Like Caitlyn Lux out of mana, like maybe there's a room here to create some benefits, but it doesn't play out that way. But what is Trash CSD? I couldn't believe I heard that when I was looking at the video. Crown should be better for the side lane, like Victor against Victor. Like the strong thing about Crown is that it allows you to rotate your spells twice in a lot of 1v1s on side. That is just, you know, as silly as it sounds, Trash burning Flash level 1, Jinx losing so much HP, being forced to wave, like the fact that they couldn't contest the wave level 1 at all gave them zero counterplay. Like if Caitlyn Lux are just allowed to freely push and hit you on the tower and throw spells, they will snowball that advantage really hard. Really like that Victor's hovering into mid here instead of like doing the top wave. That's usually what people would do. He would just open himself up for liability, and you don't need to push 3 lanes at once. That's how you invite problems in your games. Here Gwen pushed out all the way bottom, leveraging the walls as they placed before, and Victor just hovered into mid. Beautiful play. We like that shit. Here Gwen is doing jungle camps. That's fucking bad. I really don't like that Gwen is doing jungle camps. But like she gets out this time, but next time I hope she dies. To feel some pain. Because yeah, like Gwen's turn to push in happened already. Now it was her turn to hover into mid, but now she lost all her conditions and she can't. She's not actually supporting her AD carry too well now. Imagine Gwen hovered into mid already. You know, they could have potentially defended this tower. Maybe Xin Zhao doesn't need to actually like actively hit top tower. Then maybe the counterplay here would be smaller. I don't like that there are 3 people going top to try to pressure the crown victor. I think that's a mistake. Very nice here that even though they showed 3 people on the top side, it's nice that they managed to kill the top wave very, very top wave deep, So now they're going to buy themselves a lot of time before, the Drake setup. But I don't know. Let's go back. I don't know. I think this is just terrible. Like, this is just troll, probably. Like, this is just really troll. I think this is just bad. Like, this is the problem. I don't know. I think if FPX just hovered into mid, this would have been, so good. Like if it just didn't show top and they hovered into mid, and threaten dive at the same time as they are threatening like the mid wave, it would have been a lot better. But it just seems that they are in a state of mind where they have a herald advantage and they're going to win the trade no matter what. But I don't know, I just don't like it. Even if Victor could potentially push another wave, but I guess he just doesn't give a damn. Because he has enough gold already. Maybe he could buy a pink if he pushes that wave and then TP's out on the map. Let's see if that TP actually matters. It's also like when they commit into topside all the way, like Topis was actually get to contest the whole bottom side jungle, base in it, put down wards. Like these wards coming into the next mountain are gorgeous, and all of a sudden we have like a game on our hand. I really don't like this hard commitment into top. Because imagine they had their mid tower alive as well. It would have given Kate so much more space and freedom to play the game. Let's see if this collector advantage is enough to win this Drake fight. But I think the position advantage is going to just be a little bit too big, because trying to re-enter against Victor and Ornn is going to be hard no matter what. And especially with these champs, there isn't anything really that stands out as something too strong. It was like here, like in this position, how on earth does FPX's champions ever retake here? It's so important to keep momentum when you're playing champs like Lux and Kate. I don't like the fact that that Lux, I guess she's buying Everfrost maybe. I think if she goes Crown is pretty troll. Like here, it's so hard to enter. Like how do you ever cross this spot? Maybe Xin Zhao ultimate and Gwen W is enough. And then maybe, you can make something happen. Sorry, I don't know. What happened to my music? Let me try again. All right. It just here. It doesn't look realistic to me that they will find, like Xin Zhao and Gwen need to throw themselves in to try to buy some space for them to re-enter. Which maybe with the help of Gwen Ultimate, like Gwen W, which is as strong as an ultimate, and Xin Zhao Ultimate, you know, to function. It's funny, like Xin Zhao has his R as as Gwen's W. Nevertheless, just here, this position looks really good, but Kate has collector. Like that's what the gold advantage is. It's just a collector. How do you cross? You can't cross. So hard to cross. But here they are giving up space. I don't like that. Like here, yo, Kenny Steele. I recognize that name. Good to see you. I hope your friend is happy. So like here as FPX enter, I think they need to like feel a little bit more abilities, you know, like the Xin Zhao needs to lose HP for what he's doing here. But he's not losing enough. And maybe Victor is just trolling by being on the wave. Like like Jinx should be hitting the Xin a little bit, you know? And you could play Lantern and the engage won't come. But now they give up the whole spot. And now this position is very losing for top esports, I think. Because like these guys were allowed to enter. Like Kate can start putting down her traps and create like a line of defense, and anyone that she has to be like remotely scared of, she has full vision of all of them. But Ornn Ultimate is still a really powerful tool. Okay, Ornn Ultimate. Okay. I don't know, it just seems to me like Victor, Kate, like they need to be walking up way more. Like I don't know what Kate is doing in all of this. Like what's Caitlyn doing? Like what's Caitlyn scared of? Like Caitlyn needs to play a lot less scared to you know, for them to leverage any advantage. Like where are the Kate traps? Like Caitlyn traps. Like there's like the Caitlyn traps are slow and late, and Kate is in Zimbabwe. Like I think this is not so good. I think the crown is good for side laning, but it's not the greatest for fights, because it's so easy to proc it. There's so many spells that make it so easy to proc. And I don't think there's any like immediate threat on Victor in team fights that will, you know, be like, wow, he has crown, he survives this, you know? Because the enemy team composition is you know, the only thing that they have as leverage really is the range. I don't know. Like here it's just strange to me, like I don't understand what Kate is doing. And in my mind, like, Gwen should be playing up here to mark the Ornn, and then like Kate should be like up here, and then you tank the Drake over here, and because like look how much space this Ornn is buying, right? Like he's eating all the Victor E's. They're trying to push him away with the Victor E's, and then you look at Knight's Victor E's, and they're like doing so much more in the situation. Like I think like Gwen should be fighting here, like she should be fighting here, and Kate should be walking up here, hitting, you know. Like the moment Victor E is down, like she needs to be, you know, hitting people. It is tricky though, because like the space that top spots have is a little bit better, because they have a lot more to work with, right? It's like everyone on FPX's side, they're funneling through the same spot. I just feel like Gwen needs to do a lot more work here. It's weird that they didn't show most of that at Worlds though. Really poor performance, in my opinion. Well, there's only one player in that FPX lineup that is still here, so... well, Lee is Tian, right? I still think, though, generally speaking, you know, as a rule of thumb, whenever you're playing compositions that are like need to be very suffocating, you need to make sure you're first on the spot, because it's so hard to like Kate should be aware of Orn R and Thresh Flash and Lee Flash. Well, Lee is showing and Thresh is showing, and she needs to like it's the only realistic way for anything to occur in this spot. It's just like if she's worried about Thresh Flash when it's just like why play Kate, you know? Why play Kate? Like, you need to be willing to burn your sums and to get a fight started, you know? It's like if you need to be in Zimbabwe with your champ is just useless, you know? And I don't think that's the case here. Just like, what did Kate do this whole fight? What did she do? She threw a Q that hit Lee, and that's it. She did nothing. Look at her. Like, what's she doing? And then the question is, if it was just a bad, you know, Drake contest in the first place, because like this, to me, the fact that they had to re-enter here already is an issue, and I thought maybe they could take more damage here. Like the only thing is that Victor is clearing the wave here, right? So they can't like there is an opportunity for a breakthrough, and they're trying to cover. You know, Victor is forced to go this angle because like going through here is just too dangerous, right? With Lux over here and so forth, like he will take a lot of fucking damage. He will get screwed over if he tries to enter through here. And Jackie Love gets W'd, so they have to throw the lantern to him. But imagine a world where that lantern is thrown to Victor and they maintain this spot, right? There was no way in hell that FPX would be able to like even enter this spot. But just because of Victor's positioning here, they can enter. They see Victor like standing over here. They are re-entering, breaking through because they know Victor's spot. That's why they're breaking through. And then this moment, just because of this Mountain Soul map, right? Mountain Soul makes this position a little bit stronger than usual. A Mountain Soul gives you this this nice curve here, while the enemy team needs to follow through the same spot. It's just weird to me. Caitlyn's all the way over here. Like in my mind, like Caitlyn needs to be like Gwen needs to fucking start fighting. Like Gwen needs to walk up here and start fighting the Ornn. Like she needs to start pressing a W, R people, get a fight going. But here, like she's just not getting any space at all to the Gwen. Imagine Gwen walks forward, fights the Ornn that is like zoning his whole team. Like even here fighting the Thresh, right? Like hey, just walk on these guys and fight them. Fight them. Press your W. These guys are not going to be able to hit you. You start the fight, and your Caitlyn's going to do so much here. Just Caitlyn also just didn't do shit. I think Caitlyn could have maybe done a little bit more, but maybe it was just too hard on the spot. I'm not entirely sure. Oh. Hey, Jackie Love is such a greedy player. Like Jackie Love dying like this on 2 occasions. Like he died like this on 2 occasions, which creates a situation where the enemy team, even though they are basing later, they get to stay around and take all jungle camps. I think Jackie Love is triggered that he's playing against Caitlyn Lux. I honestly think Jackie Love trolled this game. I don't know the details of what FPX is doing with the roster. I couldn't care less. Go watch Caterl for that, and I will dominate. It's just like at this point, if you watched how Jackie Love has been playing this whole game, you just know that this guy just doesn't give up any fucking wave at all. So you can just stay. You gotta admit that no, like he has collector. Like this. I'm not too impressed by this. I'm more disappointed because like this is a massive overkill. This is a pretty big overkill. Fimble went to Ornn. It's gonna be a bit of a problem because he's sitting there on collector with Kate. But yeah, sure, it's a cool move. Like I don't want to be that guy. It's a cool move. It's fine to think that it's a cool move. That Flash was Giga Chad. He had all the information. Like his team was on the top side. There was no danger at all. Like you can look at the play again, right? Like even from his point of view. Like Gwen died, the enemy team didn't re-enter bot, Lee steps into top side, Lee has no Q, and Xin, like his whole team is in top side, like he has nothing to be scared of, you know? Tian said that Jackie Love had a fever during this series. Makes sense. With some of the decisions he's been taking, makes sense. So this is also a common trend that you will see. Teams that want to contest the Drake, they're contesting the top side of the map ahead of time, well ahead of time, right? Like here, if we look at when Drake spawns, I have the border, so I can't see. It's 2 minutes till Drake spawns, right? And you see how Top Season is contesting the top side. Good base cancellation. It's like here, I don't like that they're hitting the tower. Like here, just start channeling recall. Like, well, why are you hitting the turret? It's so greedy. Like this tower is not going to change the game at all. And here, their tempo becomes bad because Xin Zhao, Lux, Kate. Like imagine they just recalled. They would open up back on the map, they would re-enter the bottom side and take over everything, right? But in this position now, they're going to be chased off like dogs. Like, this is a cancellation Lux does, this blue trinket is very good, because it get pushed out all the way, and FPX are the ones that get the pry on the next wave. Unless they want to commit balls to the walls and contest here, but knowing that Ornn and Jinx are in mid, they shouldn't be looking to do just that. But it's crazy how Top Esports is playing this. Because I'm judging based off of the information they have, right? So here they have one ward, and then they get pushed out. Kate doesn't show, like, so these wards get swept. Imagine Kate stays here and then they contest top wave. You just contest this top wave right here as 4. Like, imagine Kate sticks around here and then what the fuck happens? Well, that's what's so broken about Lee too, right? That Lee can play in a way where he will find out. Because if he steps into here, right? Which is something that the LPL teams do way better than any other region. They are playing to the limit of their champ to gain more information, to create a situation that makes the play good. Because in a world, even though, as I mentioned before, like, they could be 4 on the top side, but Lee is just checking. And here, depending on the information he finds while he's face checking, he will make the decision to make the play here. Because in a world where Caitlyn Lux is trapping here, even if he gets hit by Q, he can just back off, they get the mid wave, and it's fine that they lose the top wave. So this is a really, really good play. It's just, I didn't see it at first. Or didn't connect in my mind at first. Instead, they are in a situation where they get the top wave and they get the mid wave. Really, really good. They get the top wave. Fucking Knight just wants to get this tower. Fucking madman. For what? Shadow Flame Gold? Yeah, Shadow Flame Gold. It's fine. One minute before Drake. Like, if Zoom survives this is very good. Because Gwen will have no ultimate for the fight. And Ornn can still TP back and be on tempo and have no problem at all. There's no IE finish on Kate, which would have been like so huge for this fight. But now we see the counterpart, or like the counteraction of what we saw before in the first Drake fight that occurred. Caitlyn is on the map. Lee and Threshold on top side, Caitlyn and Lux are first on mid, and Gwen is pushing bottom, and they have enough vision for Caitlyn and Lux to just push and get that midway prio, which allowed them entry into bottom side jungle first. You can see Lux and Gwen, they're taking space. Thresh and Lee and Victor, they know their base timer, so they know no one can be there. Item advantage Victor. Ornn can TP back. Gwen no ultimate. Like here in this spot, right? Like so what is the risk that FPX is taking, right? If we pause this spot. So FPX were first into Drake space. Top Esports need to be very careful about how they regain the space. They need to like chip away with putting pink wards in the bushes and then re-enter slowly. And this is happening a little bit too late. In this position, Top Esports, what they could do, leveraging the fact that the enemy team is going to commit heavily into the dragon, is to start to pressure Nash, right? But Ornn is into bottom side, catching that bottom wave. Like here, Lux is positioning very aggressively, pretending like he has 5 teammates behind him, and now slowly backing off, right? Because they don't have vision over this. And now Top Esports have this advantage where they can funnel FPX into the other side of the map. They need to go like the long way to defend mid. And then Top Esports are going to be able to re-enter to top side. Not re-enter, but enter top side, clear all the vision, and then, you know, put down wards and clear the enemy wards for maybe potentially a Nashor attempt, because Nash is definitely on the cards here for Jinx with Q, and they have someone to tank it and so forth. One tower gone, top of his stacking. Ghosting out, not too shabby. I like how FPX don't waste time, you know? They pushed out, took the Drake, re-entered the map, used the fact that the enemy didn't base, straight to Nash. Very good. I like this a lot. So it's like one of those situations, like Caitlyn reached IE, like why the fuck would we waste more time? Let's take a step back though and check. Like they're trying to use the fact that the bot wave is crashed and they are first on the map, because here Jinx, Thresh, no one based, but Caitlyn actually doesn't have IE. So maybe this is a bit too wild. Because like if you look at the sequence, right? Jinx didn't base, she's on the map, and now they're hitting the tower, and now in theory you could say, like a guess could be that they are looking to base, and Caitlyn's on the map already, and they're gonna play for just push and walk. Especially with the Trash Lantern and happen, you can like almost assume that the enemy is going to look to base. And then this moment, when Gwen gets ganked by 2, they know that they can re-enter everything so fucking freely. And then when Jinx doesn't show, they're assuming that Jinx based and Victor is in the bottom side. And that's why they're starting the Nash. They are thinking that Jinx base and that there's 2 people in the bot. The Gwen TP happens. I like this attempt a lot actually. But I don't know if the call to finish is the correct one. Like Gwen has taken so much damage for free here. I don't know why Zenzao is letting the Gwen tank it. Like Zenzao is just winking back and forth. I'm not sure. Like it's just. Yeah, Lux is not using sums. Why is Lux not using sums? Giving the Jinx a reset here is really not cool, I think. I think also like here we need to see a little Chaos Storm from Victor. Like Gori needs to put his Chaos Storm down. Why doesn't he press R here at any point? Okay, that's the R. Oh, huge, very big. Like Lux using sums here, Gwen not tanking. Like there is definitely like rooms of improvement for FPX, but I still liked it. Still like the play. Why not Twitch? I just wanted to check how people like how my audience would react to me streaming it on YouTube. But maybe it's not the correct way. Okay, so how did we end up here? Crossing into top side. Victor staying in Fog of War. We like that. Did Victor show? I don't know if Victor showed. Victor is not showing. So they're just pulling the trigger because they know they're gonna lose Nexus if they don't. There we have the flash from Lux. I don't know what Lux is. I really don't like the Lux's positioning so aggressive. Like she should just fucking put down the ward in here and peace out. Like this is a very, very dangerous zone. Like here. Like they're not gonna zone people from going here with the champs that they have. Whew. Look at the Lux fucking auto, man. Boom. I mean Kate auto. Look at this headshot. Zgdoosh. So this is how you want the fight to go, right? That's why I said that Gwen needs to fight so aggressively. It's like, you need to bait the engage with Zinzao and Gwen, and then this allows Kate to hit really, really a lot and freely. Zinzao burns ult, and Gwen and Zinzao can do the same. They can always bait the engage. Even Kate can bait the engage, use her sums, and then they fight goals, and people are hitting things, you know? Let's see if Lee can 1v9 this game. He is spotted by Uncle Thomas. Well, he played it as good as he could. I think Gwen going into the pit like that is not good. In my mind, I think Gwen should be going here, like in this spot, like go around like that, and start pressuring from this angle. I think it's better. So you force your team into an awkward spot. Like the enemy team has Ornn ult. Like imagine Gwen comes from here and starts to pester people, and then the situation will be a lot more comfortable. It's just Ornn gets so much value here. Like they can start hitting the Gwen, which forces FPX to funnel through here, which is not good. Jackie Love griefed here a little bit. He can't hug this wall like that. He needs to stand where Victor is standing. Okay, looks like this game is over. Like they don't see this TP or what? The trap was so late, like Ornn TPing like that. Like Ornn starts channeling TP. I think this should be punished. Like you see Lee position, you see Victor clearing away on bottom side. Like this is not allowed, I think. Like I think the Ornn should lose all of his HP here. I don't know. Like like Lux, like Hang is like some of the clicks that he does like are so crazy to me. Like here, like his spells on cooldown. Like why did he click down here? Why did he click down here? No flash, just gets hooked and dies like that. Tragic. This is a game of lasers, this game. This Gwen is just completely 1v9. Holy, LWX doesn't give a shit, man. What's he doing on this side of the boat, of the river? What is going on in this game? Why is it? Oh, man. LWX is just standing on this pink one. He doesn't give a fuck, man. Okay, I'm so uninterested in this part of the game. Alright, guys, game number 2 we're gonna do on Twitch, alright? Let me just set up the stream on Twitch and I'll catch you guys there. Just